Meghan dumps sad Harry. Whilst the Duchess clings on to the marriage for Harry's royal connections, the Mark Dolan show can reveal that Meghan has fully divorced the prince professionally. Meghan has now calculated that although she needs Harry for her Duchess title and her husband's royal status, she views him as a total professional liability. There is no doubt that Harry and Meghan are at the lowest point in their marriage.
Meghan has divorced Harry. Not in a legal sense, at least not based on any public record, but in a professional sense. And once people start connecting the dots, some royal watchers say it becomes hard to ignore what's being discussed online. When the couple stepped away from royal duties in 2020 and moved to California, they were presented as a unified brand. The Sussex identity was built around two people, one shared narrative, and a joint mission. In public appearances and media coverage, they were consistently shown as a team working together. But today, that image appears noticeably different.
Now, this is a huge setback for Harry because he's got nowhere to go. His own endeavours, such as Invictus African Parks and, of course, Sentebale, the charity he lost control of, are all a hot mess. There are no good news headlines around Harry.
Recent projects, including Netflix deals and lifestyle ventures, are increasingly being discussed as Meghan-led rather than joint Sussex efforts. With Love, Meghan is centered on her name, as ever is tied directly to her personal branding. Earlier podcast work is no longer active. Even Archewell, once positioned as the core of their post-royal structure, is now described in reports as having reduced visibility compared to its earlier presence. At the same time, Harry appears less central in many of the newer public-facing projects.
And Meghan is doing all the running. She's the one with the momentum. She's making the headlines. It's her social media footprint. It's her business enterprises. It's her photo opportunities. And Harry is being left behind. And now Meghan wants nothing to do with him. This is incredibly difficult.
Critics and commentators suggest that Meghan is increasingly focused on building her own independent identity while still maintaining the royal association that originally brought global attention. From a business standpoint, some observers argue the structure is fairly straightforward. Meghan continues to benefit from the Duchess title and the ongoing public interest connected to royal life. That association still draws attention from media, publishing, and entertainment industries. However, her newer appearances and projects seem more centered on her individual image. For years, Harry was often viewed as the key gateway into that world.
And now Harry is on his own and Meghan wants out. Now, this has been confirmed by royal expert Rob Shooter, who has a fantastic Substack and he knows his onions and is brilliant for royal scoops. Now, he said on Maureen Callahan's The Nerve podcast, which is also unmissable, he said Meghan has now decided, according to his sources, that she believes she is more powerful than Harry. She's going to make more money by stepping forward by herself, not with him.
Now, some critics argue the dynamic has shifted, with Meghan no longer relying on him as the primary focus in public-facing moments or promotional campaigns. The royal link remains, but the partnership appears less prominent in the spotlight. That's why some commentators describe it as a brand separation rather than a personal split. The royal connection is still present, the titles remain, and public interest continues. But Harry's visibility within the commercial side of the Sussex identity appears reduced compared to earlier years. This interpretation also connects to another topic that has drawn attention online. Reports have suggested that Meghan has supported efforts aimed at improving communication between Harry and members of the royal family. While some find this surprising given past tensions, others see it through a more strategic lens. From that perspective, even small interactions between Harry and the royal family can generate renewed global attention. A brief meeting, a public greeting, or even a shared appearance can quickly become headline news and bring focus back to their royal ties. Whether this theory is accurate or not, it remains widely discussed among commentators.
Yes, Meghan is a problem too. She knows her brand is quite tricky, but she's not quite realised that she herself is a busted flush. She knows for sure that there is a problem with Harry. So what Shooter is saying is that Meghan is in denial that she herself is someone that's a very negative public figure now. And according to what he said, she's basically blaming Harry. Any problems they've got, it is Harry's fault.
Some argue that maintaining any visible link to the monarchy continues to benefit Meghan's public profile and ongoing projects as she expands her personal brand. That same focus on presentation and control is something both supporters and critics have pointed out for years. Meghan is widely described as someone who pays close attention to how her projects are framed, from branding decisions and messaging to visuals and product rollout details. Even small elements like handwritten notes or carefully arranged scenes in her shows often become talking points online, with reactions split between praise for detail and criticism that it looks overly curated. To some observers, that level of precision doesn't feel random at all. They see it as a sign of someone who wants tight control over how every piece of content is perceived, whether it involves branding, business ventures, public appearances, or media projects. Meghan has developed a reputation for being heavily involved in the presentation side of her work.
Whenever Harry appears beside Meghan, everything becomes about royal drama and family feuds. Meghan wanted the spotlight on her work, not the chaos surrounding the royal family.
Critics take that idea further and argue it goes beyond simple attention to detail. In their view, it reflects a deeper focus on control, influence, visibility, and financial stability. They suggest these elements are interconnected. Success leads to income, income leads to opportunities, and opportunities help maintain public relevance and reach. From that angle, her business ventures are seen in different ways depending on perspective. Supporters describe them as ambitious and creative, while critics call them highly calculated. Either way, the goal appears centered on building a carefully structured personal brand and expanding its reach over time. Money is also a recurring topic in these discussions. Several commentators have noted that Meghan likely understands how unpredictable fame can be financially, especially in entertainment industries where attention can shift quickly. Before joining royal life, she spent years working in acting, experiencing both steady roles and uncertain periods in a competitive field.
Meghan is interested in certain things. So what makes Meghan tick is power and control. She's got that in her relationship with Harry. He was the significant figure. He was the alpha male. She now controls Harry. He's the help, he's the spare in his own marriage. She controls Archie and Lily. She controls her social network. So that's what Meghan likes. That's why she's really good at the creepy calligraphy, because that's about control with how you write things down so they're absolutely perfect.
Harry's background is often described in contrast to that. He grew up with much of his financial structure managed through established institutions, advisors, and formal systems. Because of that, some commentators believe he may approach financial planning and career strategy differently from Meghan, who built her career independently over time. That difference in perspective has fueled ongoing speculation about how decisions are made behind the scenes. Critics suggest Meghan may prioritize long-term financial growth more directly, while Harry is often seen as less focused on commercial strategy. Whether accurate or not, this contrast is frequently discussed among royal watchers. One commentator on a podcast claimed that unnamed sources believe Meghan increasingly sees stronger opportunities in pursuing projects under her own name. The idea suggests she may attract more attention and partnerships by operating independently rather than always presenting as part of a duo. What makes this theory more debated is the reasoning attached to it.
I can say that on this, she's right. Harry is a professional liability. He's a sad sack. He's a grey cloud. He's depressed. He's gloomy. His body language is horrible. He walks around with hunched shoulders and a miserable face.
Some critics argue that Harry's presence can sometimes redirect attention away from projects and back toward royal history, family disputes, and past controversies that continue to resurface in public discussion years later. As one commentator put it, Harry remains permanently tied to the royal narrative. No matter what event he attends or what project he is linked to, conversations often circle back to family history, past interviews, memoirs, and long-running royal disagreements. That kind of attention can easily overshadow whatever the original focus is meant to be. From this perspective, Meghan may prefer public attention to stay on her own work, business ventures, media projects, charitable efforts, and future plans. However, some critics argue that any joint appearance with Harry tends to redirect discussion back toward royal history and ongoing public interest in the monarchy.
He follows her around and he's the help. He's an assistant, he's the bag carrier. He is the spare in his own marriage. Now, I don't like Meghan, but she's got get up and go because, of course, she's American and she's pursuing the American dream. She's got chutzpah. She's a go-getter. She makes a lot of noise. We're talking about her right now.
Fair or not, That dynamic is often described as a recurring challenge that follows Harry in public spaces. Because of that, some commentators suggest that Meghan may have reached a practical conclusion that Harry's presence can complicate her public messaging more than it helps it. The controversial part of this idea, according to critics, is the claim that while their personal relationship remains unchanged publicly, the professional alignment has become less central over time. What makes this discussion more intense is how much Harry's public image has shifted over the years. When Meghan first became part of his public life, Harry was widely seen as one of the most popular members of the royal family. He was associated with military service, humor, and a relatable public personality that many people connected with easily. At that time, Harry enjoyed strong public goodwill and was often viewed as a key figure within the royal family. Many observers considered him a positive and stabilizing presence in the institution. In contrast, critics argue that over time, that perception has changed due to ongoing disputes, media coverage, and public disagreements.
Let's be clear. When they first met, Harry was on top of the world. He was the most popular member of the royal family, ahead even of Queen Elizabeth II. He was ex-military. He drank a beer, he chased girls, he was decent looking, he had more hair than he has now, he was fit, he was good-humoured, he was charismatic, very good with the public, and he enjoyed being a royal. Plus, of course, he was loved by his own family, loved by Charles and loved by William. Of course, the two of those now, forget about it.
Some royal watchers describe this change as a major shift in public narrative and ask how someone once viewed so positively became so closely associated with controversy in later years. Whether or not one agrees with that framing, it remains a common talking point in online discussions. Today, critics often describe Harry as carrying the weight of long-term public scrutiny, legal matters, and family tensions that continue to generate headlines. Supporters of a more balanced view argue that public perception is often shaped by selective reporting and incomplete context. Some commentators also extend these discussions to Meghan's past relationships and personal history, referencing long-circulated claims involving family dynamics and friendships. These interpretations vary widely, and many of the claims circulating online are disputed or unverified. Her former marriage to Trevor Engelson is also frequently mentioned in online discussions.
But in a broader way, in relation to Harry's royal credentials. What she doesn't actually need is Harry himself. She doesn't want him there on the red carpet next to her.
Reports and stories have circulated for years about the end of that relationship as Meghan's acting career progressed. One detail that continues to appear in online conversations is the claim about wedding rings being returned after the separation. Whether viewed as fact, exaggeration, or rumor, it remains part of ongoing public discussion surrounding her past. Because of these stories, some critics believe the current situation with Harry follows a familiar pattern. They argue this isn't a sudden shift caused by recent events, but rather part of a longer trend they think they've observed over time. Supporters strongly disagree with that reading, but the debate continues to grow online without slowing down. Critics of Meghan suggest that what is happening today fits into what they see as a repeating pattern across different stages of her career. In their view, she has often moved toward opportunities that increase visibility, influence, or success, while stepping away from situations that no longer align with those goals.
Harry cuts a tragic figure, pathetic, negative, depressed. I would suggest that his mental health is absolutely disastrous at the moment, and it's not going to be improved with professional rejection from Meghan. You see, Meghan is very smart because Meghan really is like a parasite. And what does a parasite do? It takes a healthy organism, it then infiltrates that organism, sucks out all the value, all the goodness, and poisons it, and then it kind of slowly withers away. That is what a parasite does.
According to that interpretation, Trevor Engelson came before her breakthrough success in television. Then Prince Harry entered her life, bringing global attention connected to royal status that far exceeded typical entertainment industry exposure. Now, some commentators speculate that the partnership itself has evolved as public roles and priorities have shifted over time. Those critics take the idea further and argue that the continued importance of the royal connection is what still ties everything together. As long as the Sussex title attracts public interest, they believe Harry remains part of the overall public narrative. Whether or not that theory is accurate, it continues to circulate widely in online discussions. Meanwhile, Harry's personal projects have also faced challenges in public reporting and commentary. Invictus, often described as one of his most significant initiatives, has at times faced questions about long-term direction and funding. Imbalance, a charity he co-founded, became the subject of internal leadership disputes that attracted media attention. Other associated projects have also received mixed coverage over time.
Well, she's done that with her own father, Thomas Markle Sr. But she's done it with her best friends. She's done it with her ex-husband, Trevor Engelson, right? He was the apple of her eye. Then she gets the part in Suits, $50,000 an episode. He's gone, and she sends the rings by return of post. The guy was devastated. A hollowed out husk of a man. Meghan doesn't enhance anyone. She sucks the life out of you. So now Harry has this professional divorce, and it's really, really difficult for him because on his own, the guy can't achieve anything, and it's ironic, isn't it?
As a result, some commentators point to what they see as an imbalance in public visibility between Meghan and Harry. Meghan continues to launch new projects, appear in media coverage, and develop business ventures, while Harry is often portrayed as less central in current public-facing activity. That comparison has led some critics to make a stronger claim, arguing that Harry increasingly appears in a supporting role within a public brand that was once presented as a shared partnership. In contrast, Meghan is seen as driving more of the visible output through new initiatives and media presence, while Harry is more often drawn into discussions involving past royal matters and ongoing family history. Other observers raise a different point, questioning how much of Harry's past success was individual versus supported by large teams and established institutions. They note that major projects like Invictus involved extensive coordination from staff, advisors, and partners who contributed to its development and execution. From that perspective, critics argue that stepping away from those structures may have made it harder to maintain a clearly defined independent direction.
In some ways, the couple are stuck with each other because she needs the royal connections and he needs Meghan's energy and zeal and get up and go, because I don't think Harry has any zeal. I think he's very, very lazy.
Supporters, however, would say that building new paths outside established systems naturally comes with challenges and adjustments. Still, one question keeps coming up in online discussions. What exactly is Harry's current role? He no longer holds official royal duties, several initiatives have faced setbacks or restructuring, and compared to Meghan's active public presence, his direction appears less clearly defined in the public eye. Some commentators describe an irony in Harry's long-standing spare label, often used in reference to his position within the royal family. While he once spoke about being in a secondary role compared to his brother William, others argue that William's life was shaped by a very different kind of responsibility, with long-term expectations tied to becoming king influencing every stage of his public path. Today, royal watchers remain divided over who made better choices, but one thing is clear. The contrast between the two brothers has become one of the most discussed topics in the wider royal conversation. For years, Harry held what many considered a uniquely privileged position within the royal family.
So she likes control, she likes power, two of which are related. And of course, she's got a narcissistic personality type, and that's about control as well.
He had the status of a prince without the direct responsibility of becoming king. While William carried the long-term expectations of the crown, Harry had more freedom to shape his public identity and engage with people in a more relaxed and flexible way. Critics argue that this part of the story is often overlooked in how Harry reflects on his past. They suggest he tends to focus more on the pressures of being the spare, while downplaying the advantages that came with that position. Whether that view is fair or not, it remains a point of ongoing debate among royal commentators. A recent moment that reignited discussion came during the final episode of With Love, Meghan. When Harry appeared briefly toward the end, some viewers commented on how different his public presence seemed compared to earlier years. Critics described him as more subdued and less energetic than the younger royal who once frequently appeared in headlines.
So the other issue is that she likes fame and clicks and headlines. She's got that from marrying Harry. And the other thing that she likes and is very, very interested in is money.
In the episode, Harry offered praise and support for Meghan's work. Supporters viewed this as a positive and respectful gesture within a marriage. Critics, however, interpreted it differently, suggesting he appeared more like a supporting presence rather than an equal partner in the spotlight. For those who remember Harry at the peak of his public popularity, the contrast has become a recurring talking point. At that time, he was often described as charismatic, spontaneous, and highly relatable. Today, some critics argue that this public image has softened over time due to years of intense media attention and personal challenges. More controversial online theories go further, suggesting that Meghan's relationship choices are viewed by some critics as being influenced by opportunity and long-term strategy rather than emotion.
She wasn't interested in Harry as a human being. And of course, it demonstrates just how fake Meghan is, because she has pretended how happy the marriage is. And of course, we had the pantomime of their 8th anniversary celebration with intimate videos, photographs from the wedding. By the way, what an insult that was, because did you know that guests at the wedding were not allowed to take photographs, and it was all embargoed and it was top secret? These intimate private photographs must remain private. Well, 8 years later, she puts them on Instagram.
According to that interpretation, Harry's royal background is seen as a major factor in public interest, while supporters strongly reject this framing and emphasize the personal side of their relationship. Those critics often describe it as a strategic approach to visibility and branding, arguing that titles, access, and global recognition play a key role in shaping public attention. Everything else, they claim, is secondary to that structure. This interpretation also influences how some critics view the current state of their marriage. They suggest that if the foundation was based on shared public opportunity rather than solely emotional connection, then a gradual professional separation might not appear as dramatic from the outside. Adding to the ongoing discussion are reports and commentary suggesting that Harry and Meghan increasingly manage separate schedules and independent projects. While neither has publicly indicated any issues in their relationship, some commentators point to fewer joint appearances as a sign that their public roles may be evolving in different directions.
And one insider alleging that the couple are now happier when their children are around because it helps them avoid being alone together. Now, that's very interesting, because I do believe that Meghan is pathologically transactional and she'll hang on to Harry for business reasons. Sorry, Harry, it's just business.
One frequently discussed example came during an Invictus-related trip to Canada, when Meghan reportedly left before Harry, even though both attended the event. Critics quickly pointed to this detail, suggesting it reflected two people whose schedules and priorities were not always aligned. Others, however, dismissed it as a normal travel arrangement that was being read too deeply. Reports have also suggested that family-related activities continue to play a role in how they spend time together, though anything beyond that remains speculative and not publicly confirmed. What is clear is that every appearance, trip, and public moment involving them is now examined in close detail. As long as public interest remains high, even small details tend to generate discussion and interpretation worldwide. To critics, the overall picture forming is not necessarily one of a couple in crisis, but rather of two individuals whose professional and personal paths may be evolving in different directions while still maintaining shared commitments. Whether accurate or not, that interpretation continues to circulate among royal commentators.
William's attitude to Harry, and she said he is disgusted by his brother. Disgusted. Think of that language. How the mighty have fallen. Well, it seems now that Meghan is disgusted with Harry. Now, this doesn't mean that they're going to get divorced tomorrow morning, because Meghan Markle is pathologically transactional. She doesn't care about her own happiness. I'm not sure that Meghan knows what happiness is, because she's not fully like a human being. She's AI generated. She's a cadaver. She's a hologram.
Another moment often mentioned in online discussions involves a Valentine's-related situation. Both were in Canada for Invictus-linked events, attending engagements connected to Harry's charitable work. However, Meghan reportedly departed before the date itself, rather than staying through the occasion. Critics highlighted this as a detail they found noteworthy. Their argument is straightforward. When two people are already in the same place, spending a personal occasion together is usually simple to arrange. Because of that, some commentators interpret her early departure as a small but symbolic detail that drew attention beyond any public-facing post or message. Critics often say that actions carry more weight than curated public statements. While anniversary posts, videos, and selected photographs can present a polished image, they argue that everyday logistical decisions sometimes reveal a different layer of reality. This is why certain moments continue to be re-examined and discussed online. Many observers also suggest that Harry and Meghan may have long held differing preferences when it comes to lifestyle. Harry is often associated with outdoor life, conservation interests, and a desire for more privacy away from constant attention. Meghan, meanwhile, is frequently linked in public discussion with entertainment, business initiatives, media appearances, and brand-building efforts. If those general assumptions are considered, some critics argue that their long-term directions may not always align perfectly.
She's realized that Harry is bad news, but she's not going to divorce him because she needs those royal connections. It's my understanding that she's encouraging Harry to come to England all the time, that she heavily encouraged the Clarence House face-to-face meeting between Charles and Harry, which happened in September of last year. So strategically, she needs Harry still.
One perspective leans toward privacy and simplicity, while the other focuses on visibility, influence, and expanding a global presence. Whether or not that interpretation is accurate, it remains a common topic in ongoing royal commentary. There has also been ongoing speculation about expectations related to wealth and status after the marriage. Some commentators suggest that life within the royal framework may not have matched outside assumptions, although much of this discussion remains unverified and based on interpretation rather than confirmed facts. For the most critical voices, the conclusion is already formed. They argue that a gradual professional separation has taken place, with Meghan increasingly centered on independent projects, while Harry plays a less visible role in the public narrative. Whether this leads to any further change is unknown, but the speculation continues. The anniversary post also generated discussion. Meghan shared personal wedding images and memories that had not been widely seen before. Supporters viewed these posts as a genuine and affectionate reflection on the relationship. Critics, however, interpreted them as carefully timed content intended to shape public perception during a period of increased online questioning.
So they don't like to spend time with each other. I don't think they've got anything in common.
What remains consistent is that nearly every public action by the Sussexes is now closely analyzed. Photos, travel, appearances, and social media updates all become part of a wider conversation about their public image, professional direction, and long-term role in the royal narrative. At present, the situation remains open to interpretation. The rumors persist, discussions continue online, and royal watchers remain divided on what the future holds for Harry and Meghan.